Session 3 of Lumineth, the Verdant Green. We find ourselves still in the forest, with the corpses of the yokai we've just buried with intention, watching them slowly return to the earth as we place the ground upon them, with Milton doing a lot of the work, using a shovel that Lyric has used his paint and tinker a power artificer power to simply paint it into existence and hand him the shovel. Since he's big and strong and Lyric is small and not very strong, Lyric simply uses his little paws to place the dirt on the yokai with intention, allowing them to be brought to peace. We take the bag and start moving out of the forest that we're in, but we find that two of our party members, Patch and Zeke, seem to be lost. They're not sure why we're in this forest and not still back at the lakeside. So, after some back and forth, we realize that those yokai had done something to steal their memories of the past 24 hours. With my knowledge and Cisco the Druid's knowledge, we figure that that's something that was specific to these yokai that we can either try to have taken care of at like a local priest or cleric, or that may perchance wear off on its own. So we'll look into seeing about restoring those memories to them. We do our best to fill in the blanks. I do remind Patch that he did whore out Cisco for 3 gold, and he seems to want to give that gold to Cisco, so they exchange that. Zeke is in a much more chipper mood than he was after his encounter with the Dragonborn, and we are kind of liking this current Zeke a little bit more than Cranky picks a fight with a cabbage salesman Zeke. My cabbages! Ah! So from there, we continue heading towards the Verdant Foundry. We do give the elf the letter that was in his satchel and his satchel. He does cry. It seems that it was very heartfelt. We had some information about that I don't quite remember. But it was more important to that character to have his effects returned than the actual details of the letter. I think they were from his parents. So from there, we take along the road. Zeke and Milton are very tired from the fighting, from getting pummeled by the trees. As much as they were able to avoid getting hit occasionally, they did take a hurt. And so they decided to rest, take a short rest in the carriage as we're going. Heather, whom we are escorting, is very concerned that we continue on today, as she thinks it will be less than a day's journey for us to continue from here to her home. So we do. Along the way, there's some chatter with her about her intention. When we get there, it's still kind of vague. The details of things are starting to take shape, but we're not sure of many things, which will lead to some blunders later on. It becomes more clear to us that the reason Zeke is on this quest is to hunt for a bounty. There's an Aarakocra that appears on the map when he focuses on it that Patch recognizes as one of the people who attacked him when he was still alive, before he became a Scarecrow Man. Fizz has a big reaction about what they're going to do to this Aarakocra when they get him in their clutches. And Zeke very much intends to not let them kill him so that he can return him to what he is calling the Warden. Apparently his mother and sister are in trouble, and if he can return these 5 people to the Warden for questioning, interrogation, and to face up for the crimes that they are either committing or helping to fund or to grow, essentially, like that, they might be working as like the minions or goons of some larger force that was trying to incite some bigger fighting or war, something along those lines. We're not quite sure. That he will be rewarded, that his sister and mother will no longer be in danger. Apparently they're in some kind of danger or peril or captured, and because of his father being a smuggler and teaching him to be a smuggler, somehow they found that he is right for this job, so he needs to get these people back there. We're learning more about his backstory than we had so far, as he was being very cagey and secretive. So it's interesting to learn TV's Kevin Sorbo's goals. We arrive at the manor, and we wait there as Heather is going to go get the blacksmith for some reason we're unsure of. As we're waiting for the blacksmith to come, because instead of actually fetching the blacksmith, as she said she would, she actually sent someone else in town along the way of her little runabout to fetch the blacksmith for her, and return shorter than originally intended. We decided that we would investigate this house that we are at, that apparently is tied to her father and some kind of demon that we're meant to kill. We keep our distance. Patch and I keep our distance anyways, but Zeke goes straight up to the door, opens it without knocking, enters inside, and is immediately attacked by essentially what seems to be the spirit of the house. It seems that the house is possessed. It slices him with no way for him to deflect, to move out of the way, or even to fight back. So he retreats to the outside, and the door slams shut behind him. From the chastising he gets from Heather, it becomes abundantly clear to us that we should have waited, even though her warnings did not indicate the severity of the situation. So we instead learned firsthand exactly how extreme this house is. She then gets this artifact back from the blacksmith, and we learn that our quest, in fact, will not be simply to slay this demon that is possessing this house and affecting her father, but essentially to go and gather essence from different peoples of this world, including one Elderborn, a yokai, a spirit, and a celestial. We then, of course, demand further compensation, as we were just thought that we had to come here and fight something, destroy something, not go on a potentially, month-long or months-long, year-long campaign in order to gather these essences from, a celestial that we have no way of finding one. So we demand additional compensation, are essentially given a coin that is an IOU from Heather that we can use at many of the merchants nearby, that we can take with us and attempt to use, but none of the 100 gold that she actually offered us for this initial part of the quest, because she doesn't believe what we've done is sufficient to earn it in some way, and she doesn't actually have any money on her to pay us. So that's upsetting, but essentially our new journey begins from there. I did find out for you all something that I had neglected to find out, which is the members of the band, which are Fingers Delacroix, who is on stringed instruments like banjo, guitar, etc. Ribs McCoy, who plays the drum and other percussion instruments depending on the song. And Bojangles, who plays the stand-up bass. And probably other bass-like instruments. But that's it for Session 3 of Lumineth. I hope you enjoy.